Saints prepare for potential trade as Steelers eye Rashid Shaheed. The New Orleans Saints are poised to make a significant impact at this season's trade deadline, with wide receiver Rashid Shaheed emerging as a key player in potential negotiations with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Potential trade dynamics. As the Saints reassess their roster, several names have surfaced in trade discussions, including prominent figures like Alvin Kamara and Chris Olave. While Kamara has recently quelled trade speculation by hinting at retirement, the Saints have other valuable assets that could be moved, particularly as they look to optimize their lineup. In a recent mock trade scenario crafted by ESPN's Bill Barnwell, Shaheed, a promising wide receiver known for his speed and playmaking ability, is linked to a deal that would see him and a fifth-round pick heading to Pittsburgh. In return, the Saints would receive a fourth-round pick, a transaction that could bolster both teams' futures. Shaheed's fit with the Steelers. Rashid Shaheed's skill set aligns well with the Steelers' offensive needs. His ability to stretch the field and create separation could complement the existing receiving core, providing quarterback Kenny Pickett with another dynamic target. With the Steelers looking to enhance their aerial attack, Shaheed's speed could be the spark they need. As the trade deadline approaches, the Saints find themselves in a unique position. The franchise must weigh the benefits of retaining a young talent like Shaheed against the potential gains a trade could bring, especially in acquiring more valuable draft capital. The unfolding drama surrounding Shaheed's future not only highlights the strategic maneuvers typical at this time of year, but also underscores the Saints' commitment to reshaping their roster while remaining competitive. As teams like the Steelers look to strengthen their lineups, the coming weeks promise to be pivotal for both franchises. It's only week 7 of the NFL season, and there's already been one head coach fired. The Tennessee Titans decided they had seen enough of Brian Callahan just 6 games into his second season. That means the Titans will be making some calls to assistants across the league, and the Pittsburgh Steelers could be atop their list. The Athletic's Diana Rossini recently released her early list of candidates for the Titans' job, and Steelers' offensive coordinator Arthur Smith was one of the 4 names mentioned. This would actually make a lot of sense, as Smith spent a significant portion of his coaching career with the Titans. Beginning in 2011, he worked his way up from a defensive quality control coach to offensive coordinator in 2019. He held that position for just 2 seasons, helping Tennessee reach the playoffs both years, including an AFC Championship appearance in 2019. Then, the Atlanta Falcons came calling, naming Smith their next head coach after firing Dan Quinn. However, Smith's time in Atlanta was far from memorable. Arthur Smith's first head coaching stint with Falcons was a failure. Hired in 2021, Smith was tasked with rebuilding a Falcons franchise that hadn't made the playoffs in 3 years. Unfortunately, that drought continued under his watch. He produced 3 consecutive 7-10 seasons, finishing with a 21-30 record overall. After being touted as one of the NFL's next great offensive minds, Smith never managed to elevate Atlanta's offense, in large part due to instability at quarterback. He had just 1 season with veteran Matt Ryan before Ryan was traded to the Indianapolis Colts in 2022. After that, the Falcons relied on backups such as Taylor Heinicke, Marcus Mariota, and 2022 third-round pick Desmond Ridder. In his 3 years in Atlanta, the Falcons ranked no higher than 15th in total offense and 18th in scoring. They also finished as low as 26th and 29th, respectively, during that span. Arthur Smith joins Pittsburgh Steelers after Falcons firing. It didn't take long for Smith to land his next job, this time as the Steelers' offensive coordinator in 2024. Once again, he faced an uphill climb, inheriting another uncertain quarterback situation. Pittsburgh was still searching for its true successor to Ben Roethlisberger. With an aging Russell Wilson under center, the Steelers managed to claw their way back to the postseason with a 10-7 record. However, they were eliminated in the wild-card round by the AFC North rival Baltimore Ravens. In 2024, the Steelers ranked 16th in total offense, 319.4 yards per game, 27th in passing, 11th in rushing, and 16th in scoring, 22.6 points per game. Now in his second season with Pittsburgh, and with Aaron Rodgers leading the offense, the Steelers are 4-2 after a Week 7 upset loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. Through 6 games, they rank 26th in total offense, 297.5 yards per game, 17th in passing, 26th in rushing, and 11th in scoring, 25 points per game. There's still plenty of football left to play, but it's clear Rodgers needs more weapons if Pittsburgh hopes to reclaim the AFC North title this season. Either that or Smith will have to get creative with his play calling. Whatever the case, Smith's deep familiarity with the Titans organization ensures he'll be one of the first names on owner Amy Adams' strengths list as Tennessee begins its coaching search. Steelers pursue Jakobi Meyers as NFL trade deadline approaches. As the NFL trade deadline looms on November 4th, the Pittsburgh Steelers have turned their attention to bolstering their receiving core. The team has been frequently linked to Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver Jakobi Meyers, as well as New Orleans Saints standout Chris Olave, amid a flurry of trade speculation. Meyers, a trade waiting to happen. Jakobi Meyers has been at the center of trade discussions since the offseason, partly due to his reported desire for a move after failing to secure a contract extension with the Raiders. Given the current state of affairs in Las Vegas, with the team holding a disappointing 2-4 record, it seems plausible that Meyers could be traded to avoid losing him for nothing when his contract expires in 2026. The Raiders, facing dwindling playoff hopes, might be inclined to offload Meyers, especially if they adopt a seller's mentality as the deadline approaches. With a talented roster but limited success this season, the franchise's focus may shift toward rebuilding rather than holding on to players who are on the verge of free agency. Saints in a rebuilding mode. On the other hand, the Saints find themselves in a more precarious position, sitting at 1-5. In this context, Chris Olave emerges as one of their most valuable trade assets. The Saints are in dire need of a rebuild, and moving Olave could net them a significant return, potentially a day 2 draft pick. However, recent reports suggest that New Orleans is actively trying to extend Olave's contract, complicating the likelihood of a trade. Despite his name circulating in trade rumors, the Saints appear committed to keeping Olave as a cornerstone for their future. He is under contract through 2026 and, at just 25 years old, fits well into their long-term plans, especially as they develop 2 young quarterbacks. Steelers eyeing potential acquisitions. While both Meyers and Olave present appealing options for the Steelers, Meyers seems to be the more attainable target. Reports indicate that the Raiders are open to trading their leading receiver while simultaneously exploring trades for defensive players. Should Pittsburgh pursue Meyers, it would mark a significant upgrade for their offense. Over his career, Meyers has maintained steady production, with 4 seasons exceeding 800 yards and a career-best 1,000-yard season in 2024. Despite facing subpar quarterback play throughout much of his career, a connection with a seasoned quarterback like Aaron Rodgers could unlock Meyers' full potential. A strategic move for the Steelers. For Steelers general manager Omar Khan, acquiring Meyers before the deadline would be a notable achievement, potentially enhancing the team's offensive capabilities alongside existing talents such as DK Metcalf. While Olave remains the more attractive target due to his age and upside, Meyers is no slouch and could significantly bolster Pittsburgh's receiving game. As the clock ticks down to the trade deadline, all eyes will be on the Steelers' next move and whether they can solidify their roster for a playoff push.